Hi. Hi, my lovely soul fam. Oh dear, hang on. The voice is not working yet. I haven't done much talking today, which makes a change. But now that I've cleared my throat so that I've lost about 20,000 people, welcome, soul fam. As you know, I am Astrologer Penny Dix. And for those of you that don't know, I try to make astrology simple, understandable, and easy to use for everyday life. Because what is the point in having this wonderful system if we can't all use it? So I've been reading some of your chat as I've been waiting, and then suddenly I realized it was 6 o'clock CET, and everything had kind of already started. So here I am. Does sound okay? Vision okay? Oh, whatever. Oh dear. Hi, everybody. So listen, how was last week? Let me know in the chat because I do want to pick it up because for me, last week flew by, but with some pretty challenging things happening. Did anyone else have really tough challenges, whether they were psychological, emotional, or physical? Because, oh, Jem, really? You had a bad week. Well, I'm not going to go into details about my bad week. And I wish I could say that my strained glute muscle in my left buttock was caused by something more exciting than trying to get on a bed to have a CT scan. But I did something to my left hand side glute and I can hardly move. I can hardly walk. It's taken me all day to be ready for this. So, yeah, no, Penny, absolutely, Jem. Do you know, I can't even feel the sciatica, which was what the main problem's about. And I've looked at Dr. Google, but my physio's coming in tomorrow. So I hope he will be able to assess whether it's a torn glute or just a strained glute. But I'll tell you, because it was quite funny, really. Although let's hope the radiologist that was trying to give me this CT scan isn't watching. But what happened was he was perhaps in a bit of a hurry. Maybe he had a date. So I like to take things slow. I'm Taurus anyway, and I do have this back problem. So I sat on the edge of this kind of, you know what they're like, these metal benches, which have about as much give in them as a dried piece of meat. That would have more give in it. And what I did was I started to try and elevate my legs, swing them round to get up. And he thought he'd give me a helping hand. And so he went whoosh. And apparently my friend that came with me said the expletives coming from the CT scanner room were unrepeatable, certainly on YouTube. I cannot tell you what I was saying, but I lost my voice for 3 days. And my glute is in such a fucking awful place. And thank you. I can see you are sending me some healing. Thank you, Annabelle. Bless you. I tell you, this week has been tough. And that's why I'm asking you, how has it been for you? Because your arthritis was horrific and the cold weather. Yes. And we've had it cold here in Gozo, even though by comparison, it's not like you get in North America. Here we get the damp and it's bitter. I've got 2 quilts on my bed electric blanket, and I go to bed with hot water bottles, and 5 cats. Well, Rudy Red, now also known as George. So Rudy Red has a new name, and it is George the Red. Somehow, just I called George out. I don't know, it just came to me as I was looking at him. And he looked at me like, yeah, that's right. That's my name. Oh, she's got it. So I'm really sad to see that, Susanna's Secret, you had a tough week too. And I was going to talk about the full moon. Shirley, your chest was tight and fast heart. This is this full moon in Leo. Leo, remember, rules the heart. And the Leo full moon was only 3 days ago. We're still in its energy. And I think it was, and I don't mean literally, but I think it was a killer. You see, what we had was Jupiter, the planet of expansion, luck and opportunity, but remember, it can expand what's bad as well as what's good, was squaring hard, tough angle. When you hear me say square, think, oops, listen to what Penny is going to say. And it was squaring the full moon in Leo and the sun in Aquarius, thereby making a T-square. So there is nowhere for this energy to go. In fact, I think it made with one of the dwarf planets, but I can't remember which one, but I think Pam Gregory talked about it. I think it made a fixed grand cross, which there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to move. And it's really tough. I'm seeing what you're saying, Andy, that the whole week has been so bad for sleep. Yeah, I've averaged about 5 hours a night, and I'm on kind of high alert. And I haven't been out of the house since I went for the CT scan on Tuesday because I can't move. So, coming back to the astrology, I think it's very interesting that we had this Jupiter square to both the sun and the moon. So the sun was in Aquarius, the moon was in Leo. Leo rules the heart. No wonder we were stressed to the absolute hilt. And Jupiter was expanding the negative. So it was making things and pain more painful. So that's what I know I was experiencing. And I'm just waiting for it to ease off a bit. And also we had another hard square with that full moon. We had Chiron in Aries. Remember Aries, fire sign, ruled by Mars. And Chiron is the kind of wound that we carry that we never heal. We often glibly go, oh, yeah, Chiron, the wounded healer, and we move on. No, 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 no. There is much more to Chiron than it just being about healing a wound. This is about trying to heal a wound that never heals. So on one level, this is normally an emotional, psychological trauma wound that doesn't heal. And on another level, it can be physical pain that we know we will always have to manage, like when one has arthritis, when one has severe sciatica. It just twinged. That was the glute, not the sciatica. So I'm trying to sit still and I'm trying to relax. I've got a hot water bottle in the small of my back and a cushion in that kind of bowed bit so that I'm kind of held in place. I mean, good God. You know, the mind is willing. I love doing these lives. I love talking to you all. I love talking about the astrology of the week ahead. I love talking about what we've all been through and how we have managed it. But somebody earlier in the chat mentioned this is all Pluto in Aquarius. Yes, this is what we are experiencing with Pluto, this planet of transformation, this planet of personal empowerment. It's putting us through the ringer. It's certainly putting me through the ringer. You see, natally, it's 4 degrees away from my natal Chiron. And coming back to Chiron, in the full moon, it was squaring Mercury and Mars in Capricorn. Now, Mercury and Mars are currently conjunct in Capricorn. Now, remember, Mercury is about communication. Mars is about action, activity. It can even be surgery and injury. So I think it's interesting, and maybe some of you have suffered injuries in the past week, whether they were physical or psychological, or injuries from the past, psychological, maybe even physical, have risen to the surface of your awareness. So, you know, we have to be super kind to ourselves and each other. And I think that when we're in pain, it is super difficult. However, this was a new moon in Leo about the heart. We have to remember a full moon in Leo about the heart. We have to remember the positives of Leo. Leo is about love, entertainment, fun, creativity. The heart is our beating muscle, I'll use your name, Gem. It's our gem in our soul that keeps us going. And I've said before, sometimes we don't honor and respect our heart enough and the work it does for us. Boombity boom, boombity boom, boombity boom. Every second of every minute of every day until it stops and we move on to another realm. So, what are we going to experience this week? Because that's what you're all here for. And hey, Soul Fam, I can't keep up with the live chat. At some point, the lovely Andrea is going to be being part of it so that she can pin questions to the top of the chat so that I can see them and answer them, and pin important comments that I don't want to overlook. So, Manuela, are you doing a whiskey and bagels before the operation? Is there never one again? Listen, we can never say never again. All I know is that Brandon at the moment has taken his particular soul direction and path. We had a kind of mutual kind of agreement that it was time to just step away and give each other a bit of space. Not because we don't care or like each other or love each other on that level, but because sometimes we have to follow the soul path that is unfolding for us. And, sometimes there's a reason and a season for a particular show. And Whiskey and Bagels had a reason and a season. And maybe it wouldn't have the right kind of or the same energy if we brought it back now. But it doesn't mean that Brandon and I won't actually do more videos together. That's quite probable and possible down the path. But Brandon, if you're watching, and any of you that don't know whom I'm talking about, check out Conscious Medium Brandon Russ and his channel. He is an excellent medium. He's also an excellent astrologer and tarot card and psychic reader. So, Manuela Orchid, that's what I have to say on that. So, yeah, I agree, Manuela. There was a lovely chemical energy. There was a lovely chemistry, wasn't there? And I'll say again, there's a reason and a season and a time. And we just have to enjoy where we are now in the present. So, hi, Penny Hudson. Great to see you too, namesake Penny. How does February the 23rd look for surgery? Your daughter is having an abdominal procedure. Just let me check, because I can do that extremely quickly for you. Astroseek.com, and I go to moon phase calendar, and I go to February, and we go to the 23rd. And what was it was an abdominal surgery. Yes, it's fine. It's actually just before a full moon, but that's okay. I'm actually having surgery the day after a full moon. So before or after is fine, just not on a full moon. Always remember, the rule of thumb with full and new moons is don't have surgery on a full or new moon. I actually had a very honest discussion with my surgeon, and I said, here's my selection of dates. And I chose the dates that, first of all, the moon was in the sign that didn't rule or have anything to do with the spine. So actually, when I have surgery, the moon will be in Libra. What you have to do is not have surgery when the moon is in the sign that rules the particular body part ruled by that sign. So it's really important that we're aware of this. And it's so easy to find out. Just go on. It's a wonderful website that I use all the time. It's called astroseek.com. And you go under moon phase calendar, and it tells you everything you need to know for every month throughout the year, next year and beyond. Okay, so let's come back to the week's astrology, because that's what we need to understand about. So we've dealt with the full moon, and we know that last week was somewhat challenging for a lot of us. I am clearly being slowed down by the cosmos to the extent I can't even actually leave my house now because of pain, severe pain, and I cannot drive. So slowly Pluto is taking away, and think about this with your own lives. Think about the area of your life that Pluto in Aquarius occupies in your chart. And if you don't know, watch my Pluto in Aquarius video for 2024, because that will tell you everything you need to know. I've got it in my 6th house of health, of everyday kind of routines. And what's happened for me is that I have Chiron, that lovely wounded healer, that wound that never heals, in Aquarius at 5 degrees in my 6th house. Pluto is at 0 degrees, so it's conjunct my Chiron and in my 6th house. Hence, I cannot move. I'm stuck. My brain is fine. I am firing on all cylinders. Psychologically, creatively, I'm preparing all the videos that I'm going to pre-record before I have the surgery. I'm just absolutely in it. And I know that when I'm in my recovery period, that book that is desperate to come out of me is going to be written. So I'm giving this all to you so that you can think about where is Pluto in your own chart, because that's where it's stripping you down, excuse me, to the bare bone. And that's what's happening with me. I'm being stripped down to the bare bones, so there is nothing left. This is truly dark night of the soul. Thank the divine that I understand what this is what's going on, because if I didn't, I would have the most chronic anxiety. I would have the most chronic fear. But you know what? I'm okay. And for me, if you'd known me for all my life, you'd know I'm the master of anxiety and paranoia and chronic fear. I'm okay. I'm cool. I'm just going with it. I'm just saying, bring it on. What else do you need to take from me? I'll follow that. I will follow your lead, Pluto. So I didn't intend to be talking about all of this at the start of this week's astrology, but I think it's important. So Trisha, that you've just asked me, where does what fall in our chart? You've got to look for where Pluto that has moved into Aquarius, not where it is natally. You need to know where Pluto in Aquarius is in your chart. If you don't know your chart, there are many websites where you can download your chart for free just by inputting all your birth information. And if you go to my video that's on my channel, Pluto in Aquarius in 2024, I go through each zodiac sign and give you a flavor of how you can expect Pluto to be behaving with you over the next 20 years. I hope that's helpful. So, Andy moving into the house of fun. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's move on to the astrology for today, because the moon is in Virgo, which is probably why I'm spending so much time giving attention to detail and being very particular about what I say. And it's waning gibbous. Now, we know that wonderful word, gibbous. It's where we have those half-closed, alluring eyes that really attract somebody to us, that we are just longing for a relationship with, or a quick fling. So the moon is waning gibbous, and Mercury in Capricorn, so Mercury, our planet of communication, is trining Uranus, which, remember, is now direct in Taurus. So you could hear surprising news today about your finances. You might be checking out your financial system online with your bank and thinking, oh, that's okay. I thought it was not as good as it is because it's a trine. The other experience, perhaps, of Mercury trining Uranus is that you receive news that is surprising, interesting, innovative, that wakes you up and makes you feel that you really want to work hard at the thing, the subject, the career that you're passionate about. Because suddenly you get a sense of how you can do it in the best possible way. So we've also got today Venus, our planet of relationship, of love, of self-worth, as well as finance and money. It's in Capricorn, so remember it's quite frugal in Capricorn. You may be tightening the belt a bit, or if you're in charge of the purse strings in your family, then you might be encouraging everybody or gently suggesting that they're just a little bit more mindful about what they spend, because this has got to go out, this has got to be spent, this subscription is due. And because it's in Capricorn, it's about structure. Now, the interesting thing is Venus is sextiling, which is kind of like that helpful angle. It's sextiling Saturn that rules Capricorn, our planet of structure and boundaries, in Pisces. So it may well be that your nearest and dearest, and even you, have been a little bit just too free with the cash. So you may need to pull in the reins a bit and just slow down. So let's move on to Monday, because on Monday, the 29th, the moon is still in Virgo. So we're going to start the week feeling quite organized, very definite, clear about what we want to do, how we want to do it. The interesting thing about Virgo as well is sometimes it might be that you're starting the week thinking, feeling a bit anxious, wondering whether you've got all your kittens in a row. I want to be different. Maybe you will want to be different. You know, Uranus in Taurus, we have to have something that's a little bit innovative. Because we could talk about ducks in a row. Why don't we talk about fluffy kittens all in a row in their basket with their mum? So, you know, we've got the moon in Virgo, waning gibbous. So we start the week potentially with a bit of anxiety about the workload that we have in our calendars. But that will get easier as the day unfolds, because Venus and Mars, first of all, let's deal with Venus. Venus, our planet of relationship, love, money. It rules Taurus. It's in Capricorn, though, but it's trining Jupiter in Taurus. And Jupiter expands things. And, you know, I wonder whether there is news that we get tomorrow that turns the markets, the stock markets, the currency markets into a much more bullish energy. Bullish means that people are more risk-taking because they feel they can make some money. Now, the only downside with that is that we overcompensate or we over-exaggerate. You know, we see something on Amazon and think, oh, I'll have that in every color. Click buy, and the deed is done. That is not a good idea, because we've also got Mars in Capricorn. So Mars, remember, is our planet of activity, assertion, sexuality. It can be aggressive behavior, argumentative behavior, and it's the god of war and the ruler of Aries. Mars in, I like that, Andy, delete Amazon cart. That is brilliant. Yeah. Oh, I'm not very good at finding the delete button. Anyway, so back to Mars in Capricorn. Mars in Capricorn is trining Uranus, our planet of the unexpected and shocks, the internet, rebellion and freedom, in the sign of Taurus. So I just think we're going to hear some surprising news, which may be actually quite positive, but will cause a little bit of loss and lack, because Capricorn is austere. Capricorn, and bless you, Capricorns, this in no way is a personal criticism, but you can be very cool. Let's call it cool with the sunglasses emoji rather than cold. But Capricorn is very straight, very structured. And Capricorn people are probably one of the most reliable signs you can have as a friend. However, when they're done with you, they're done. A little bit like Taurus. Virgo makes a lot of fuss about it. I'm talking about earth signs here. Makes a bit of a fuss about it, but may be seduced back at some point. So we've got Mars in Capricorn trining Uranus in Taurus. I think that really what this is doing is bringing up this energy of surprises to do with the financial system. So I think news comes in that in some ways we have to be aware of the long term, that if we're all going to take care of our long-term financial future, we really must be mindful of what we're doing in the present, because Mars will take away, through the austerity of Capricorn, what we think we've gained through Venus in Capricorn trining Jupiter in Taurus. So just be mindful of that. You know, it's like giving with one hand, taking with the other. Tuesday, Moon in Libra, harmony, balance reigns, and it's waning gibbous. So we have our half droopy eyes again. We are attracting the opposite sex all month, whatever your particular sexual orientation is. You will be attracting it when the moon is waning gibbous, and even more so when the moon is waxing gibbous. But that's before a full moon. So on Tuesday, we have the balance and harmony. So we should be feeling, phew, got through Monday, got a lot done, ticked off the tick box, can have a little bit of a sit back a bit. And Andy, I think you mentioned hot chocolate earlier. Oh God, what I'd do for some hot chocolate. Oh my God, I think I'd even prefer it to a whiskey. So there we go. I would love a hot chocolate now. But anyway, that I can't do because I don't have any. So moving on, we have Mars on Tuesday, still in Capricorn, but today, Mars, our planet of energy, action, challenges, is squaring the North Node in Aries. Now remember, Mars does rule Aries, but Mars in Capricorn squaring the North Node. There's something here that on Tuesday you're not listening either to your gut, your soul, that is saying, my soul energy is saying, go this way, choose this door. And your Mars in Capricorn energy is going, oh, stuff that, I'm going that way, because that's the right way. Be careful on Tuesday. Really, because the North Node is about your destiny. It's also about our collective destiny. So you really must be mindful of this energy on Tuesday. Let's move on to Wednesday, because I want to get to February, because that's going to be super exciting. So let's go on to Wednesday, 31st of January. It's the last day of the month that lasted 10 years, or at least that's how it seems. And the moon is still in harmonious, balanced, loving Libra, waning gibbous. So the 31st is kind of an okay day. There are no major aspects for any of us to worry about. It depends also, remember, always on your own personal chart. And remember, if you would like a personal one-to-one with me, bookings now start on the booking calendar from June, because of my surgery, I have to take all this time off. I've still got some of you pre-booked whom I will be seeing between now and the surgery that I'm having about the 3rd week of March. It's actually scheduled for the 26th. So don't worry. Some of you may still have to be shifted around, because I'm going to have lots of pre-op tests and I don't know when they are, and I will have to obviously prioritize them. But I will do my best to accommodate all of you before my surgery that have already booked. If not, I will give you a refund, and when you rebook in June, it will be at the old price. Okay? And remind me when you book, it's the old price you said for me. So bookings are going from June. So if you want to have a booking with me, a one-to-one, they're from June. And also remember, the website is pennydix.com. And over the next few days and weeks, you will see it being updated and upgraded with the wonderful new photographs that we've taken with the lovely Melanie of Soul-Made Design. And I'm really thrilled with the pictures, and I hope you are too. So come on, back to the week ahead, because Thursday is the 1st of February. And I will be doing a live stream with a monthly overview for the month of February on Thursday. It's already pre-programmed up on my YouTube channel. Click click like and the notify button so you don't miss it. It's at the same time as this one has gone out. And the moon is in Libra, still waning gibbous. Interestingly, and I thought some of you might be interested in this, because Thursday, the 1st of February and the 2nd of February are spiritually charged days according to the pagan festival or the pagan calendar, because it's known as Imbolc. And Imbolc is a pagan holiday that is celebrated from February the 1st all the way through to sundown on February the 2nd. And I remember when I went to witch school, because I did this wonderful course back in the, must have been in the 80s, with a white witch, and I learned all about circle work, paganism, and ritual. It was the most amazing experience. And anyway, I learned all about the pagan festivals. And so Imbolc is a pagan holiday, but a lot of people still celebrate it. And Imbolc is it's the halfway point between the winter solstice and the spring equinox, and was celebrated mainly in Neolithic Ireland and in Scotland. And the goddess that is worshipped at Imbolc is the goddess known as St. Bridget, or in her older names, Brigde, or Brigid, or Brigitte. So, and she is the goddess who brings life to the land at springtime. So it's very similar to the Greek story of Persephone, who Demeter, her mother, has done a deal so that she can have her daughter back. You remember I told you this story. She can have her daughter back for 6 months of every year. And so this is actually when Persephone comes out of the underworld and back into the overworld, and spring dawns. So there's very much a sense of February the 1st and February the 2nd being a kind of very symbolic, energetic turning point. So be mindful of it. I was taught when I did these courses called Circle Work, that it was a very good time to try and connect with other realms and other energies, because the veils between the different kind of realms are very thin on these pagan festivals like Imbolc. And so one of the things one can do at Imbolc is quite simply light a candle and just say a prayer to St. Bridget and welcome in this midpoint of the kind of lunar calendar, and think of what you would like to intend between now and when we have the spring equinox. So we've talked about Persephone and how she came home at this time of year. So remember that story as well. And on Friday the 2nd, the moon has moved into Scorpio, and it's in its last quarter. So what we may be attracting sexually is literally that. If we're going to be attracting anyone, it's going to be on a sexual level and not so much on a kind of love and light level on Friday, because the energy is much more raunchy, much more dark, much more shadowy, much more, going down to the depths of the Scorpio depths. In a sense, going down, it's like Persephone has left a gateway open to the underworld. And we get a glimpse with the moon in Scorpio on Friday the 2nd of what life is like in the underworld. So The other energy that we have on Friday the 2nd is Mercury, our planet of communication, in Capricorn, that hard-working sign, sextiling Neptune in Pisces. So we may actually come up with some intuitive ideas that, if we put some structure to, could be really fruitful, because a sextile is a helpful aspect. So think about that. And listen, guys, whether you're working, whether you're a stay-at-home mum or caregiver, whether you're retired, all the things that I'm saying still apply, because life doesn't stop when we retire. Life begins again in a different way. Well, it did for me. And I hope I am an inspiring example to a lot of you, that at 65, I'm 68, nearly 69 now, I relaunched my YouTube channel in its current form. So just be aware that it's never too late. And you know what? And I've thought about this. I thought, what if something happens to me? You know, you think about it when you're going to have surgery. I'm pretty certain from the astrology it doesn't. And I'm pretty certain from my knowing that it doesn't, because I've clearly got a lot more work to do. But just supposing something did, and I ceased to be here, at least I would leave this life knowing I did it. I did something. I did something of value that a certain number of people gained from. And, you know, I've learned so much so far with my business about taking risks, doing it now, not waiting for tomorrow to act. Because if I don't do it today, tomorrow never comes. So I'm very aware of that. And I know for some of you, hi, Diva Diane. I'm really pleased to see you here, and thank you. I'm noticing that there are ads that are going to come in and interrupt. Apologies, out of my hands. It's YouTube's policies. YouTube, I love you. I'm not going to say anything negative about YouTube, because without YouTube, I would not be able to communicate and connect with all of you lovely soul fam. So let's come back finally to the last day of the week, Saturday, the 3rd of February. The moon is in Scorpio still in the last quarter. This is quite interesting. For any of you that are in a relationship, any of you that things have got a little bit samey in your relationship, your physical relationship with your significant other, Saturday's the day to spice things up, because Venus in Capricorn trines Lilith in Virgo. Well, Lilith, I think, is inviting you to be a little bit creative and imaginative. Pay attention to the detail. Be a little bit unconventional. Use that shadow side of you. So, quite an interesting thought to end this week's forecast on. But let me just have a look. Yeah, Christine, I did spice it up Saturday. Absolutely. Get out the frilly knickers, the sexy bra, if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube. I don't know what I'm allowed to say anymore. But I've said it, so there we go. So, oh, thank you, Janice Fitzpatrick Simmons. She makes beer and helps women get pregnant. You must be having a conversation about Brig Day. Oh, wow. That is fabulous. Thank you so much for that, Janice. So, thank you, Go Wild. Girls Gone Wild. Yeah, girls just got to have fun, haven't they? We have. And you know, this is so important. Life only happens once now, or the only life we remember, although that is also debatable. But you know what I mean. For all intents and purposes, we're dealing with the now and the physical life we're experiencing or our soul is experiencing in the now. Enjoy these times on planet Earth, in the solar system of the sun. Enjoy each other. Enjoy life. Make love. Sounds like make love, not war. But you know, we really need to be going around with banners saying that, don't we? Make love, not war. Yes, I think she meant, or maybe she meant Lilith. Yes, Annabelle, good point. Let us know, Janice, whether you meant Lilith or Brig Day, because Lilith too actually helps you get pregnant. So, you know, I'm just waiting to see. Yeah, Jem, make love, not war. Love the Annabelle Sapphire, the make love, not war symbol, ban the bomb. And have you noticed, and to any men watching, I apologize, this is a generalization, but it's the men that are over there in that part of the world killing each other with bombs and drones and guns. I mean, emoji, WTF, hello guys, what is going on? Maybe it's our fault, women. Maybe we need to actually get them back in the bedroom. And, you know, maybe that is where we have our power. So, you meant Bridget. Thank you, Janice Fitzpatrick. I thought so. But, you know, Lilith also can be about pregnancy because she gave birth to hundreds of thousands of demons, which I think is a lovely analogy. And I always think that Lilith in that sense represents our shadow side. And with Venus in Capricorn trining Lilith in Virgo, I think just be a little bit kind of calculating in the bedroom. Saturday night's the night to celebrate the festival of Brig Day. Okay, it's the day after it's ended, but maybe actually you celebrate on the Friday night leading into Saturday so that you get the energy of Friday and Saturday into the whole mix. Yes, that's right, Janice. Lilith was Adam's first wife before Eve. And the reason Adam kicked her out of Eden was because she insisted, this is Lilith, on being on top. Well, Eve then was the placatory, nice girl who said, oh, I don't mind, a little bit like Barbie. And then, oh, what's this apple for? What happens if I bite it? So, you know, we have to look at all these myths. And what's so interesting is that every tribal energy, every culture around the world has a creation myth that has very similar, almost the same theme, but with slightly different characters and different names. So I always think that is super interesting. Now, before I finish, because I'm just looking at your... Andy, you've mentioned something very important, the global meditation. Remember, Pam Gregory offers a place, a space in 5 minutes, just when I finish this, to all kind of mentally link hands with everyone around the planet and intend love, peace, healing for 15 minutes. And I will do my best to join that too. So I will be with you all. But I do think that global meditation, and I think when I return fully to work in June, I think we should perhaps have something like this as a regular weekly or maybe monthly meditation as well. But I want to finish on one note before you rush off and do that meditation. One of the things you have to remember, so Jem has been writing down Penny's thought for the day or for the week. So here, Jem, is my thought for the week. You have to say to yourself, I am always at the right place, at the right time, for my highest good and for the highest good of others. I'll repeat that. I am always at the right place, at the right time, for my highest good and the highest good of others. So, bless you all for joining me tonight. And I can't tell you how much I value the support you give me. This is where I do the emotional bit at the end. And so I've done all the astrology. So if you want to switch off and leap over to Pam Gregory, please do. But I just want to say thank you so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. I will be back on Thursday at the same time for the monthly overview for February. Always a funny word to say, isn't it? So I look forward to seeing some of you, all of you, different ones of you, but hopefully a lot of you on Thursday. And if you're watching this in the replay, then I hope you'll be able to join us all on Thursday too. So on that note, I'm going to end stream and bless you all. I love you all. You are just absolutely friggin' awesome. Okay, my loves. See you soon. Bye for now.